So I'm going to show you now how to generate a letter of engagement for a landlord within the Rentview system, and this can be done in an inactive property, a new listing, a property that's in the middle of a lease term, or management property. The very first task that we want to do, however, is go into our agency tab, and we just need to add in some new config details into your panel. So you'll notice now there's an insurance name, address, etc. So this is who your insurance is provided for your indemnity. And just fill this in, so then this way it will appear on all your contracts, your policy number and your PRSA registration number. There's also now the ability to have your paperwork e-signed, and in order for it to be e-signed, it needs to be signed off by the owner of the business or the partner. Okay, so I've just selected that on my panel and I've pressed save. So now I've got all the new details needed within the config panel to generate letters of engagement. And I'm going to go to a property now to generate the paperwork. So now within the property, there's a blue tab on the right hand side which states engagement, and as soon as we click on that, it will bring up the details which make this a unique document for each property. First of all, it states if the property is a letting only or a letting managed, and then what we'll have here is the start and end date. So I'm going to start the engagement letter from today for 12 months from today. The estimated value of the property, so this is how much you recommended to your landlord that you'd achieve on a rental. The next area says fee type, so this is the fee type you're charging the landlord for the letting. Is it a once-off fee, is it a monthly fee, or is it a percentage? If it's a once-off fee, state that here, €500, or if it's a monthly fee, state that there, or if it's even a percentage, state that there. And don't include the euro sign or the percentage sign, that's already included. So for this sake, I'm going to just say it's €500. Increased fee would mean that if you had signed a landlord up for a letting managed package and he or the landlord had withdrawn the management services and you've given him a lower fee for the letting service, what would that fee increase to in order for him to walk away from you? So we could say that increases to $775. The management type is a monthly fee. Is it a set fee, or once again, is it a percentage? And that would state there. So I'm going to say this is a set fee. The property type is the type of property it is, how many bedrooms, and how many living rooms. So these are all required on the PRSA documentation. The floor size is in square meters. So we're going to call this an 88 square meter property. Arrangements for maintenance would suggest that you are arranging maintenance for the property. No arrangements by the landlord would mean the landlord is dealing with that. And arrangement options. Permission will be requested for all work. So any value of work, you need to ring the landlord and ask him, or you've got authorization up to a set value. So I'm going to say I've got authorization up to 100. Booking deposit would remain if the tenant had no longer going ahead with the property. Is the deposit to be returned to the particular renter, or is to be paid to the client? Additional services is option C within the PRSA agreement, and this would state, if it's end of tenancy, digital inventory, what other services you're going to include. So for this sake, I'm going to call it a digital inventory. The contact point for the agency, who in the agency should take in queries if there's a problem. The standing organisation, are you a member of organisation? I'm going to say I'm part of IPAF and a member body of IPAF. So if there's any other particulars that need to go into the letter of engagement, they would go in here. And lastly, there's the e-signable document. So by clicking on this tab, you're allowing the system to generate the agreement and then to be sent to the landlord and to the owner of your letting agency to sign off on. So this means no longer do you need to print it off, send it out in the post. Literally click on this button and it will generate an e-signing document which is fully legally binding. So just press continue. And what's going to happen now is very similar to the tenancy agreement. We'll have the details now pop up in front of us. And once again, you may want to review this document or include particular details, and that's all very editable here. But pretty much all the options that we have put in the config panel will now display here. There may be things that you may want to look at, like the termination of the agreement, how many weeks, how many days should you should have certain tasks revoked in, etc. So by all means, please read through it, make sure you're happy with everything prior to actually generating this and getting it e-signed. As you can see, all the different bits and pieces and details have been added within the system. And once again, they all are automatically fed from the landlord details and the property details. So once you're happy with it, okay, just press generate. And what happens now is that the letter of engagement is generated and it's been sent to both the business owner of the agency for e-signing or the partner, and also to the landlord for e-signing. And we can now see that e-signing status is pending. So that means that the document is pending signatures. So let me just show you where that is. If you go to the property address, the document section will now hold the engagement letters, and here we can see the parties have been emailed. Okay, so what we're looking for here is an update. So what I'm going to do now is get these documents signed, and I'll show you then how it appears. So now we can actually see that all the documents are signed by the parties, and you can now download the document onto your local machine and view the documents which are signed. So here's the completed document, and pretty much you can review it again, and it's automatically stored under the document section for this property. So you can go down through the complete document with everything in place, and the important piece for an agent is the signatories. And here you can see it here, the two signatures by agent and client, and they can be drawn in or signatured in. We just went for the quick option of type front. And at the very bottom, this is the really important piece. This is the legal piece. This is the audit trail. So we can see a complete history of when the document was generated, what IP address it was sent from, where it was opened, what IP address, what time, etc. So they're all the legal bits and pieces for you. So that's the engagement letter. Each document that's generated and signed and sent is going to cost your agency 50 cents. So that's an incredible saving compared to the current process. That's it.